Come on, let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Smash those likes. I'm Blockchain Crusader, Crusading 3's blockchains every single day, and we're back for another live stream today. Here we are, August 21st, and guess what, guys? The Bitcoins is dropping like it's hot. No bueno, no bueno, no bueno, no bueno. We look over here. Ooh, Bitcoin having a nice little push back to the upside now. Bitcoin got rejected off the London high here earlier this morning and has had a nice little dump down below the VWAP, coming back into its previous day trading session downtrend that we're currently in. Dropped as low as 112,547. Currently had a nice little push back to the upside here. Ethereum also got rejected off the London high, has fallen as low as the Monday low, down at 42.24, and is trying to fight to get back above this weekly VWAP here, currently at around 42.60-ish area. Now, if Bitcoin begins to recover here, I do expect Ethereum to follow. But overall, if we look on the hourly, on the 2 hour, we've been doing nothing but going to the downside here. We still got 30 more minutes left, 34 minutes left on this last 1 hour candle before getting a 4 hour candle closure. Nice little drop to the downside and nice little push back up here, but I believe we're still going to continue pushing to the downside here, especially if we close out this candle in the red. As you guys can see here, the 4 hour candle right now is pretty much a doji candle, very thin body candle, with massive wick to the upside, massive wick to the downside, engulfing the previous candle, the previous 4 hour candle. And I do expect us to continue pushing to the downside here for Bitcoin. And that is going to drag Ethereum along with everything else down with it as well. Bitcoin dominance is also climbing up today. So jumping back in here into the 15-minute for Bitcoin. Bitcoin still within its downtrend, having a little bit of a bounce here from 112,500, but no clear indication of a major reversal or breakout from this downtrend. I do believe we could come all the way back up to the VWAP, retest this area of 113.5 again before continuing to the downside, but we are approaching the previous day low of 112.348, and then we have the pretty much the August low here, which is now currently the previous all-time high of 112.55. Let me quickly move my camera here. My camera is a little bit in the way of the price action. Here we go. Perfecto. So yeah, hard line here of this downtrend giving some resistance to Bitcoin. We still got 34 minutes left on this last 1 hour candle before getting the 4 hour candle close. I do expect things to continue pushing down lower. In the Crypto Citadel this morning, we were talking about this being a technical reversal signal for Ethereum. Bitcoin overall didn't look like it had any major reversal signal besides this slight tap of the London high, and then just quickly started to fall towards the VWAP. And then the next candle just completely melted down, right, which really dragged Ethereum down along with it. Plus the reversal signal here really added on to that drop, coming all the way down to the Monday low of 42.23. But if Bitcoin continues to drop lower here, I do expect Ethereum to also come down, touch this daily NPOC of 41.79, where there is a gold pocket. And right below that, we have the previous week low of 41.64. That is the big target here for Ethereum, as we are now currently below the weekly VWAP, and we are falling down into this steeper downtrend than where we were from earlier this morning. It's all going to be highly dependent on Bitcoin, though, right? Where Bitcoin goes, the altcoins follow. But nonetheless, I do believe Bitcoin's going to continue following. Today is probably the day we're going to retest this previous all-time high August low of 112 and see if we hold tomorrow. Tomorrow is the great meeting at Jackson Hole with Jerome Powell. And we all know everybody's just been waiting all week long to hear him say something about a potential interest rate cut. The Fed minutes came out yesterday, and they looked, from what I saw, they were very concerned about higher inflation, not really concerned about the labor market. So is definitely signaling like they're not gonna really go for an interest rate cut in September, right? Maybe it's a fake out, and they do the interest rate cut anyways. But looking like if we come out with some hawkish news, right, some hawkish tone from Jerome Powell on Friday, tomorrow, that the market will probably dump. The market will probably dump listening to Jerome Powell talking about not cutting interest rates, and that, interest rates are going to remain the same because inflation is higher and higher, yada, 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 right? Even though every other country right now is cutting interest rates, our country isn't, but that's okay. And that is probably going to dump the market, right? I am expecting a potential relief rally, some type of like FOMO rally before the meeting, and then probably just going to be looking for a short to take it back down as Hbar comes out and is going to probably be hawkish overall. So right now, Bitcoin just trying to figure its way out here. It's still heading in a downtrend overall. Going to be jumping here into the chat, saying hello to some people, answering some questions, see if we got any questions in the chat so far. Appreciate all of you guys tapping those likes. Make sure you guys are all smashing those likes, guys. Smash those likes no matter where you're at, whether you're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Make sure you guys are tapping those likes. Fill up those like meters. Really helps out here on the channel. Let's go back and see here. No questions so far. Let's see over here. Any questions over here? Great content this morning. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate all of you guys in here smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe, and joining the Crypto Citadel every single day. It really helps out. If you guys don't know what the Crypto Citadel is, it's my private trading community. We were literally just discussing this major pullback for Bitcoin and Ethereum this morning. Some people took the short, some people took the long. Some people longed this sweep here of the London low all the way up to the VWAP. Perfect little long entry. Bitcoin here right now starting to pull back once again. Ethereum following suit, continuing to push lower. Meanwhile, we stay below this weekly VWAP for Ethereum. We are most likely going to continue heading lower. Our next support to break here is this Monday low of 42.24 before eventually coming down to the daily NPLC and gold pocket down at 41.70. So we'll see here if Bitcoin continues to hold here and push up higher or just slowly give up. We've got 29 minutes left before the 4-hour candle closes. And so far, the 4-hour candle is looking very bearish. Very, very bearish. Massive wick to the upside. Big wick to the downside. Red body candle. Very bearish engulfing candle overall for Bitcoin here. So we'll see here if we just continue dropping. Hopefully we continue dropping on the next 29 minutes and just get a nice bearish red candle on the 4-hour. I know you guys must be like, Crusader, why would you want Bitcoin to dump? Guys, I just want this dump to be over. And the only way to get the dump over is to get it through, right? You just got to push through the dump, right? So right now we just need to continue coming down to this 112, maybe down to this 111, whatever it is, and find some new support and start pushing back up. But this dilly-dallying that we've been doing here for the last week, right? This entire week, look at this. We're just, Monday low was 114.60. Then we came down to 112.5 on Wednesday. We came all the way back up to 114.7 yesterday. And then now we've come all the way back down again to 112.9. Like, dude, this sideways price action for the last 3 days has been nauseating. We need this thing to just dump it, rip it, and start fresh. So that's what I want. I want Bitcoin to just dump it already, dump it down real hard, all the way down, and then let's just start pumping back up. So taking any trades is risky for today. Yeah, there was a good trade for Ethereum, very good trade for Ethereum that we talked about in the Crypto Citadel during our exclusive live session this morning, which was this reversal here of the sweep, right? We swept the London high on Ethereum on the 15-minute, which is a reversal indicator. I didn't personally take the trade, but this is a trade to be taken with a technical sound of our strategy that we use in the Crypto Citadel. If you're not familiar with our crypto strategy, we have a whole 1-hour course breaking down all the indicators that I use on my charts, which are all free except for one that I've made myself. and you get access to it through being part of the Crypto Citadel. So you guys will learn my full trading strategy here. And this drop right here, boom, massive drop, massive reversal for Ethereum. Right now, there's no real good trade to take right now. So the last good trade was potentially this candle right here when we came back, tried to retest the VWAP and got rejected and headed lower. But outside of that, there are no other good trades right now at the moment. Bitcoin looks like it wants to try to push to the upside here, but overall, we're still in the downtrend for Bitcoin and for Ethereum as well. So no real good trades. Bitcoin dominance slowly climbing up here, up 0.18 today. Really not letting the altcoins breathe too much. So definitely going to continue expecting altcoins to slowly drop here as Bitcoin continues to chop sideways and slowly drop as well. Let's see here. That was a good question, though. Good question. Appreciate all of you guys jumping in here. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes. Let's see here. Let me go through the chat. Bim, bim, bim. What do you think is the next support for Bitcoin? So next Bitcoin support here, obviously today, for today's support is the previous day low of 112,320 something, $343. That is the previous day low for Bitcoin. Right below that, we have the August low of 112.55, right, which was the area that we swept back in August 2nd, which led to the major rally to 125. Right here, you guys can see here, we swept this area back on August 2nd on a Saturday, and that was the last low for August before running it all the way to 124.5. Now we're back at those levels again. So we are continuing to make lower highs here, as you guys can see. Ignore some of these regression trends. Let me turn some of these off. But as you guys can see here, we have the high, right, from 125, whatever. Then we made a lower high down at 118. Then we made another lower high at 118.5, lower high 116, lower high 114. And now we're heading lower again. So I do expect the next support to be somewhere around this 112 to 111 area. If that area is lost, I am looking for 108,785. And then below that, we have targets between 105 to 103 and the yearly VWAP down at 101, which will be excruciating for the altcoins if Bitcoin does drop that low. If Bitcoin does drop that low, the altcoins are going to get crushed. But in the Crypto Citadel, we do have a plan. We do have a game plan for those targets to the downside. We will be looking for some potential low leverage longs as we start heading below 111 to potentially dollar cost average into some specific altcoins which have been discussed in the Crypto Citadel. So if you guys want to be part of that, you guys want to stay up to date with what's happening in the market, right? Start learning some technical analysis. The Crypto Citadel is where you want to be. Bitcoin here trying to hold up, trying to make a little comeback, but overall still not being able to have any significant bounce, still making lower highs here. Appreciate everybody tapping those likes. Make sure you guys keep smashing those likes, my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Making sure I'm not missing anybody in the chat. WP, what's going on, buddy? One with nature. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Everybody keep smashing those likes, man. I want to know from you guys. Are we going to go down to 105 or are we going to go to 130 first? What do you think is possible? What comes first? What comes first for BTC? 105 or 130? I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Make sure you guys are dropping it into the chat, guys. Make sure you guys are dropping into the chat. What do you guys think is first? 105 or 130? Let me know. What do you guys think? Depends on the Fed speech. Yeah, everybody is just sitting at the edge of their seats for this Fed meeting tomorrow, man. Everybody is sitting at the edge of their seats for it. 007 says 105. Justice Seeker says 115. We'll check Chronos here in just a second. What just happened? What just happened with what? 105. Salty Dog says 130. Somebody's bullish, baby. Rudy G says, I hope up. Realistically, guys, we just need to get these dumps over. The faster we dump down, the faster we recover back up. That's just the way it works. So don't be afraid to rip the Band-Aid. Let this thing dump. And then we're back on our way up. WP says they're not cutting till next year. Very good chance that we don't get an interest rate cut to next year, especially after those Fed minutes came out yesterday, talking about how they're very worried about inflation versus labor market. So strong indication that they're really not looking for an interest rate cut, even though the rest of the world is already cutting interest rates. But you know how it is. It's all a big game. What about XRP? 105 probably. Yeah, probably 105. Do you think the market will be bullish or bearish before the end of the month? I definitely think we're going to probably close out here probably a little bearish. I don't think we're going to have any major push to the upside. So far, we've pretty much given up almost all the gains for the month of August. If we come here to look for the monthly returns, I'm pretty sure August is back at -2%. We've given up all the returns that we made for the month of August. We were all the way up at 125, right? New all-time high, and now we've dumped all the way back down towards these August lows, which really sucks, giving up all those returns in just 1 month alone. But it is what it is. September is usually definitely not a good month at all either, right? August is usually a bearish month for Bitcoin, as you guys can see here, very bearish throughout the history from 2014 or 2013 all the way to 2025. We have only had like 4 green August. Everything else has been massively in the red, not massively in the red, but just in the red. September, very similar, right? Only 4 green Septembers in the history of Bitcoin since 2013. Only 4. And they're all below 10% too. So they're all below 8% to be more specific. They're all below 8%. So very slight green, if any, for Bitcoin on September. And that's only been 4 times out of the last 10 plus years. Right? Out of the last 12 years, we've only been green in September 4 times. The other times have been red. So 11 out of, I should say 8 out of 12. 8 out of 12 have been red. 8 out of 12 have been red. So very likely that we also get a red September. Doesn't have to be a very high red, slow, slight, small red month. Just at kind of like August, 5% or so in the red potentially. Doesn't mean that we can't have rallies to the upside, get bullish, and then dump back down and still close out September in the red, guys. That doesn't mean that we won't have a rally and it's just straight down between now and the end of September. There will be potential, relief rallies along the way. Even a dead cat bounces right when it hits the ground. So that's a thing to be looking out for. Dead cat bounces on the charts. Now, overall, October, November, Q4 overall, especially October, very green. Usually very, very green overall. And since 2024 to 2013, we've only had 2 red Octobers, one in 2014 and one in 2018. Everything else has been green. And Q4 overall usually is pretty green for Bitcoin as well since 2013. We've only had 4 red Q4s. So very good chance that we get a nice little green move to the upside here. Ethereum getting back above the weekly VWAP here, trying to close back above it here. Bitcoin trying to push back up as well. It doesn't matter if they dump, they're not going to crash. Yes, my friends, I agree. They're definitely not going to crash to zero, right? They're definitely not going to crash to zero. Bitcoin isn't going to go to zero. Ethereum is not going to go to zero. I still think Bitcoin's going to make an all-time high of 150 or higher by the end of this year. We'll see. Let's go take a look at XRP. Somebody's asking about XRP in the chat. Chat. Good old XRP. Let me turn off my trading indicators here. Come on, man. Okay, come on. So XRP overall continuing its descent down towards the value area low of July. Value area low is 267. We made the high of 367 on late July. Then we made a lower high on August 8th around 334. Another lower high around August 14th around 328. And now we've dropped down to 289. If we break this current low from back in August 3rd of 274, our targets to the downside are 267 to 252. Below that, we have the quarterly average of 242, which was major resistance for a very long time. If that doesn't hold that support, then we're potentially coming back down as low as maybe 197, $2.08, back into this green support zone that XRP has had, which is overall pretty significant drop here. Let's get from this low on April to this high in July. Come on. Yeah, gold pocket lines up perfectly right down at $2.33 below the quarterly average of 242. So that's going to be a next big target here to the downside for Bitcoin. I mean, for XRP, sorry. Let's go take a look at ETH. What is ETH doing? ETH facing some resistance here at this weekly VWAP. Oops, didn't mean to move that. Got 15 minutes left before this 4-hour candle closes. I do expect some larger push down for Bitcoin here after this 4-hour candle closes here. Getting some little bit of momentum here in this last 15 minutes candle that just started. So we'll keep an eye here. Let's keep jumping into the chat, guys. You guys have some good questions today. What do you see XRP's high will go with Bitcoin's high prediction of 150? Thanks for your analytical professionalism. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Hunter. Hope you guys joined the Crypto Citadel. Yeehaw, baby. Appreciate the gift. So realistically, I think XRP can top out somewhere around $5 to $6. $5 to $6 with a 150 target, right? Bitcoin hit 125. XRP didn't even move to its local high, right? Its local high was 366. Didn't even break that with Bitcoin pumping to 125. But assuming we get a nice altcoin season, right, as Bitcoin tops out to 150 by the end of the year, realistically, at most, being generous, $5 to $6 target within a very aggressive move, right? That is more than 2xing, right? More than 2x from where we're at right now for XRP, just a slightly above 2x. We're currently at like 2 something, right? So reaching that $5 mark is under a 2x actually, and then $6 would be a little bit over that 2x. So that's realistically where I see it going, man. I don't really see it running to that $10+ like a lot of these people are talking out here, a lot of nonsense, right? The lawsuit is over. Why is XRP still not pumping? What happened to the decoupling? What happened to everything's going to be over once the law case is over, once the lawsuit is over and is dropped, it's just going to rip. It ripped for a day. Went up to 366 and came back down. And it hasn't pumped since. Oh, but the market's down. But I thought Bitcoin didn't matter. I thought XRP did its own thing. Right? XRP is going to defy the laws of market cap and break over $1 trillion, reaching $10 this bull market. If you guys want to keep believing that, good luck. I refuse to buy into that nonsense. Opinion on the Yeezy coin, it's garbage. XRP 380 top, then completely get out of. Dude, that'd be fantastic. If you got in below $1, right, and you haven't taken massive profits yet because you're waiting for $10, you're going to get left holding the bag. You've already reached these previous highs of $3 and some change. Binance, even though Binance, the all-time high from back in the day is like $4.16, which is the all-time high I'm going based off of. Could be wrong, but that's what it says. So yeah, like the fact that it's reached 366 and some people are still holding from 50 cents and they're not selling, those people are going to ride that thing all the way back to the ground. They think XRP will never go back to 50 cents again. Okay. Because the same thing didn't happen to everyone thinking Bitcoin after Bitcoin broke 20K in 2021. Oh, we'll never go to 20K again. We went all the way up to 59, what is it, 59 or 67,000, and then we dumped all the way down to 15K. Then we pumped back up again. Oh, we'll never dump down again. Yes, we did. And the same thing will happen to XRP and every single other altcoin, because wherever Bitcoin goes, altcoins will follow. And if you think that Bitcoin will not drop below 100K at some point in 2026 or 2027, like we're not going to have another bear market at some point and it's just going to be 100K plus forever and the 100K is the new bottom that will never break, you're mistaken. You're mistaken. There will be dumps that are going to shake out the market and people are going to panic sell and people are going to freak out because you're buying tops. And it's okay if you're dollar cost averaging for the long 5, 7, 10-year play, right? But realistically, it's okay. But you're going to be keeping that money stuck there for your dollar cost. There's a smart way to dollar cost average and there's not a proper way to dollar cost average, right? People think that dollar cost averaging is foolproof. It is in the very, very long term, but you do have a negative. The negative is that your money is going to be stuck there for many, 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 many years. Many. And it's going to require you to have a consistent bankroll to consistently be pouring money into it for all of those many, 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 many years, right? Versus strategically, properly dollar cost averaging, you are reading charts and you are waiting for the big dumps. You are waiting for the big drops to the very low levels, right? And you start looking for some support and say, well, okay, now I'm willing to dollar cost average. Now I'm willing to buy some, right? Like we did in March of this year. March of this year was a strategic time to dollar cost average into some altcoins. Altcoins were down 80 to 90%. 80 to 90%. That was the time to buy. Bitcoin dropped down to 76,000. Everyone was freaking out. That was the time to buy. People were buying altcoins in May and June when things were at local highs. Altcoin season. Yeah, altcoin season is awesome, but altcoin season is not the season to be buying. You need to be buying when we're not in altcoin season, when we're not pumping, when there's red in the markets, when the charts are melting. That is the time to buy. And obviously, if you're buying altcoins, you already know the lower the market cap, the higher the risk. The higher the risk that it's never going to come back and it's just going to go down to zero. USD1 just released on Coinbase today. I heard about that. Don't know what that really is, what the great thing about that is, but, it is what it is. They are suppressing XRP. How? Who's they? Ripple? Is Ripple suppressing it by doing all their major dumps every month? Is that who's suppressing the price? Who's suppressing the price? Who? Tell me. I want to know who these mysterious figures are. XRP is the world's greatest conspiracy theory. They have the world's greatest mystery behind them. Chainlink has a better chance of taking over the SWIFT system. Chainlink has better connections, better partnerships. Everyone is using Chainlink. But somehow XRP is going to be the one because they're fast. Fast is no longer part of the game. It's not a competing factor. Anyone can be fast. Faster and cheaper only gets you so far. You need to be unique. You need to bring something to the table that no one else has. And that time for XRP is over. Back in 2017, back in 2018, was a lot more believable that they had something unique that no other crypto was doing around that time. And yes, they were fast. And yes, they were cheap. And no one else was even close. Okay. But now there's tons of fast blockchains. There's tons of cheap blockchains. There's tons of blockchains that can use ISO 222. There's tons of altcoins that can connect to all these oracles and connect to all these old systems. And all these companies have access and have had time to build out their own blockchains, to map out what they want to do now that they have the crypto regulations that they need to get these systems in place. They don't need XRP anymore. XRP was just the blueprint, if at most, if at best, right? They were just the blueprint for everyone else to study and say, okay, if we want to do something like this, this is how we should start out. This is how we should start going about it. But it doesn't mean that XRP is going to get adopted. It just isn't. Stablecoins is where everyone is going. Everyone is going to stablecoins, right? And when I say everyone, I don't mean the individual investors. I mean the institutions, the bankers, right? They wanted the stablecoin. That's why they got the Genius Act passed, right? All the stablecoin regulation, because they are interested in using stablecoins. They're not going to be using XRP. Oh, but they're going to use stablecoins on the XRP network. Why? They can use stablecoins on any other network. The more networks a stablecoin connects to, the better. And that's what they want. It's not like, oh, they want everything and everything only on the XRP network. That limits what banks they can work with. Because if another bank isn't using the XRP network, they can't transfer over there their stablecoin. So, yes, XRP might play a small part, but it's not the one and only, the big dog that's going to take over everything. That's just a bunch of fugazi. And it's been proven time and time again. But people still keep buying into that narrative. All right, no more for the XRP rant. Back to the questions here. If you only put 100 in anything, sorry to burst your bubble, no money to make. Most likely true. Most likely true, right? If you're putting $100 on something, the only way you're going to make a huge amount of money is if you're really lucky on a meme coin and you get like a 50x. Or if, one example is I was able to practically almost, over 100x my position. It wasn't $100. It was $400. I bought $400 worth at the launch, right? At the launch of Axon DAO. At the launch, I put in $400 and I was able to walk away with over $20,000 on that position. So very, very good, right? Small amount, but that was the first time ever. And I've been in the crypto markets for over 8 years. First time ever that happened. Was I expecting that? Absolutely not. It just happened. It was all a matter of luck. The narrative of decentralized science, the altcoin season of quarter one to quarter two in 2024 all just sparked this major rally, and it was just 100% pure luck. So yeah, you can make some money, but that's just straight up luck. It's just luck. It's not a strategic investing plan. If you only have $100 and you don't have more than $100 to invest, unfortunately, you're not ready to invest. To be a real investor, you need capital, you need cash flow, you need money coming in. So either you have to deal with a debt problem that you have at home, that you're paying off too many bills, you're paying off too much credit card debt month to month, and that's what's restraining you from having a few $100 to $1,000 at the end of each month to potentially start investing, right? Because that's realistically what you need. You need like $200-300 to $500 on the minimum to about $1,000 on the upper side, right? The more the better, but between $500 to $1,000 is a decent amount to start investing into a portfolio for the long term. But if you don't have that consistent capital coming in, then you're not ready to be an investor. You're just not. You could start off as a trader, right? Because you can trade with a small amount of money using leverage. You can trade with a small amount of money, and over time of months and potentially years of practicing, being in the crypto citadel, learning, watching tutorial videos, watching courses, learning a trading strategy, you will become profitable, and you can turn a small amount of money into a large amount of money. But it also takes time, right? It also takes time. So it takes time, it takes dedication, takes a lot of grit to get through and become a profitable trader. So that's the only way you can make a lot of money with a little bit of money, is being a trader. But if you're just going to be an investor, you need a lot of money. That's unfortunate. So you either have a debt problem or you have an income problem, meaning, oh, I don't have any debt, but I just don't make a lot of money. You work at a, minimum wage job. You work, whatever. You haven't graduated college yet. You don't have a career path. You don't have really making, So if the problem is the income, you need to fix that. You need to get a job that makes more money, whatever that is, right? And be able to reduce expenses, keep expenses as low as possible for as long as possible. That means that if you did just graduate college, or you're going to be graduating college soon with your degree, and you're like, yeah, man, I'm going to go get a job. I'm going to be making 50 to 70K a year. I'm going to be rich. Not if you go out and buy yourself a brand new car, which is then becomes a $500 monthly payment plus insurance, right? You go out and buy yourself a new car. You go and get yourself a bigger apartment. We know rent is all like $2,000 and plus wherever you go. There goes half your paycheck, right? Because if you're making 70K a year, you're making about $4,000 after taxes a month. $2,000 in rent, half your salary is gone. Then you have a $500 car payment because you buy yourself a new car. That's $2,500 off the table. Therefore, now you only have $1,500 left. Let's say you spend $500 on food, right? $500 on groceries a month. That's right there. $3,000. That's gone. Now you only have $1,000 left. If you have any credit card payments, if you have another $500 for luxuries, miscellaneous like things to just go out, have a good time, go out to the bar, whatever it is a month. There goes another $500. Now you're only down to $500 at the end of the month. And then you have the little miscellaneous phone bill. You have maybe some credit card, or you have some student loan payments or whatever it is. Boom, you're gone. All $4,000 gone. There goes your $70,000 salary. Can no longer be an investor because you went out and bought yourself a nice car, got yourself a bigger apartment, and didn't reduce cost. And that's not even talking about like strong credit card debt. So, yes, sir. You have to be very, very strategic with your budget. We'll circle back to XRP here in just a second. Bitcoin is pulling back here. Bitcoin is continuing to put. Oh, it's 12 o'clock, guys. It's 12 o'clock. The 4-hour candle has officially closed. There is a major, massive wick to the upside. Yep. We closed down around, what is it? Around 112.7 for the Bitcoins. And now Bitcoin new 4-hour candle has started. I do believe we're going to follow this downtrend. We are going to be coming down here towards this previous day low of $112,350. Krabby Crab. Let's go, baby. Down to $112,350. Some point later today, Ethereum also has dropped down to $42.41. Still has the support here of the Monday low around $42.24. We need to break this area to come down to this daily MPOC of $41.79, where there's a daily MPOC gold pocket, and we got the previous week low right below that as well. So we'll see here what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin has another little bounce to the upside or just continues to melt to the downside. Do you see ADA dropping lower than 80 cents? Very possible. ADA could definitely pause. We're going to drop. Okay, we're going to cover ADA. We're going to cover Crow, and then we're going to cover XRP again. Sorry, I know somebody's been very patient about Kronos, so we'll cover that, and we'll cover Link here as well after that. So just remind me. We're going to go look at. Let's go take a look at ADA real quick. ADA's fast. So ADA currently definitely has potential to drop below 80 cents here. So right now, zooming out, looking at this here, we came up to the previous week high of $1.01 last week, got rejected, fell out of this resistance zone. We fell back into the Q1 range of this year, or I should say the first 2 quarters, the 6-month range for ADA. We're currently below that, which is the value area high for that is 89. We're currently at 86. Targets to the downside here are between 81 to 82, 82 to 81 to hold. If that does not hold, we could be dropping towards the previous week low and some lower targets that are between 76 to 70 cents, right? 70 cents is where the anchored VWAP is. It is where the 6-month point of control is. So 70 cents is the next big target to the downside if we begin to lose 80 cents, right? If we begin to lose 80 cents, that is the next big target to the downside for ADA. Let's go take a look at CRO, crypto.com. So crypto.com here, Kronos also topped out around 16.169, basically 17 cents. We topped out around that area. We have fallen back below the monthly VWAP. Our next target to the downside is this quarterly VWAP around 0.128 to the downside, right? Right now we are holding support above 13.5 cents. If we lose that, 1.28 is the next target. Below 1.28 is the quarterly and the yearly VWAP around 11 to 10 cents for Kronos to the downside. Let's go take a look at XRP once again real quick. Somebody was asking about that. XRP has created lower highs from the July high of 366. We made a lower high around 335. We are heading lower. Our next big area of support is around 369, which is the value area low. For XRP, we have the yearly VWAP as well in a local gold pocket around 252. If that's lost, our next targets are 242 to 233 to the downside for XRP. Which one am I missing? Chainlink. Somebody mentioned Chainlink. Let's go take a look at Chainlink real quick. Chainlink is still within its uptrend here. Right, it's previous month uptrend. For some reason, Chainlink is holding up very well here. So it could drop as low as 23.42, still holding above its uptrend. Still within its uptrend, we are the monthly VWAP is down below at 22.46. So even if we come down to that and hold it, we're good. Now, if we lose 22.46, we'll be looking down for this $20 to $19 mark where around the quarterly VWAP is at. If that's lost, next big target's around 18 to 17 where the yearly VWAP is at, and some point of controls for the previous month as well. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin continuing to head down lower. Let's follow up with Ethereum. Where's Ethereum at, baby? Ethereum having a little bit of a bounce here on the 15-minute. No big deal here. Just still making lower highs for Ethereum. I don't care what link goes to. I'm buying it for the long term regardless. That's okay. There's no problem with that. People have long term visions, right? I do think that Chainlink at some point could definitely get back above 39 to $50 is previous all-time high. Chainlink, like I said, has a better shot at becoming what everyone says XRP will be than Chainlink than XRP itself. So Chainlink definitely has a lot of connections. It's connected with literally absolutely almost every single corporation and crypto company, as just everything that they're doing. So very bullish on Chainlink. Just the price is very slow mover for sure. I'm not a buyer of Chainlink at these price points right now. I would be buying Chainlink, back at $10, $15 or lower. Link is very strong and it's very useful. Yeah, I do agree. Do you go live every day? Pretty much every day. Yeah, pretty much every day. Some days I don't. Yesterday I didn't feel well, so I didn't go live yesterday. But pretty much every single day I go live. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be bringing back the weekend live streams too. It's been a while since I've done those, but I'm going to be bringing them back soon. So Bitcoin, Ethereum's dropping, Bitcoin's dropping as well. Bitcoin is definitely going to be coming towards that 112.300 to 112 flat, probably at some point later today. Definitely going to be hitting it tomorrow. I can tell you that. Tomorrow, either we're going to dump right through that area and we're going to come down to like 108 or something off that speech, or we're going to have a huge bounce if we get some major surprise like, yeah, interest rate cut is on the table scenario. What do you think about LCX? It's been pumping. Let's go take a look at LCX real quick. LCX, where are you? Zoom out here. So LCX still, not being able to get back above the Q1 value area low of 17, pretty much 18 cents, where the yearly VWAP is at. We got rejected off that area. We're currently at 15.5 cents right now. Targets to the downside, if we keep dropping lower here, is the quarterly and the monthly VWAP around 13 to 13.5 cents. If that's lost, then down low we go. But until we don't get above this yearly VWAP in Q1 value area low of pretty much 18 cents, we're not going back towards the targets of 24 to 29 cents for LCX. And we have some higher targets as well, up as high as 33 and the all-time high being 40 cents. But that's only going to be on the table once we can get back above the Q1 value area low of 18 cents for LCX. Do you stake any coins? Yeah, I stake my Cardano. I don't stake my ADA. I mean, I don't stake my ETH. I do stake my Cardano, though. I stake some Solana. Not all of it, but I do stake some Solana as well. Can you explain what altcoin season is? Altcoin season is when altcoins really have major performances, right? When they're really performing, especially outperforming Bitcoin. Now, the ingredients for an altcoin season are very simple. Bitcoin hits a new all-time high, right? Before an altcoin season happens, Bitcoin is usually just ranging or below some low levels, right? Recovering from some type of dump. As Bitcoin starts pumping up, the altcoins begin to follow, but the altcoin season isn't. Even though altcoins pump when Bitcoin pumps, they're not really outperforming just yet or having an altcoin season. Altcoin season happens when all three of these things happen together. Step one, Bitcoin makes a new all-time high. Step number two, Bitcoin ranges sideways, going up and down, up and down, up and down, right? Above those all-time highs or very near those all-time highs. Ranging near the all-time highs or above the all-time highs is step number two for Bitcoin. Once those two things are happening, you start seeing Bitcoin dominance dropping. That is the ultimate ingredient for the full recipe for then altcoin season to blast off. Right, as Bitcoin dominance drops, yeah, Bitcoin's price is at all-time highs and ranging. The altcoins begin to outperform and have major price movements. That is what an altcoin season is. Did you cover Hbar yet? Came in late. I'll cover Hbar here in just a second. Are we going to have an alt season if interest rate didn't get lowered? If interest rates don't get lowered, could be the last leg in the potential drop, right? Allowing the market to drop. I still do believe we're going to have a decent Q4. I still think we're going to have a green Q4 for this year. I still think Bitcoin's probably going to top out somewhere between the 150 plus for the end of this year. So yes, I do believe that an altcoin season will come during that time. Let's go take a look at Hbar real quick. Hbar, where are you, my friend? Hbar here, pretty much sideways. Looks a lot like XRP. Topped out around July, end of July around 30 cents. Made a lower high in August around 27 cents. Now we're coming towards the value area low of July. If 22.9, right, basically 23 cents is lost, and we start dropping below that area, our next targets to the downside are between 21 to 18 to maybe as low as 17 cents again, which is like the anchored VWAP area would be below all the VWAPs. So yeah, that would be their next big target to the downside for Hbar. Hbar needs to get above 30 cents to start running for its targets, which doesn't have a lot of above it. Let's go take a look at ETH. Let's see how ETH is holding up. Can you see what you're seeing? I don't. Okay. Oh, to see the chart, you need to go over to either YouTube or Instagram or Twitter. If you guys are not in the Crypto Citadel, my private trading community, definitely do so and join. That is where you get all my exclusive analysis, all my exclusive charts, daily updates, daily trade signals, exclusive live trading sessions like we did this morning. We were looking for that Ethereum short and that Bitcoin short to the downside for a potential drop. So if you guys want to stay up to date with the markets, and I do a daily live stream in there almost every single day, Monday through Thursday, for at least an hour every morning before going live on any social media platform. So definitely go in there and stay up to date with what is happening in the market. Even if you're not a trader, you get access to my trading course, and you can start learning to become a trader. You can start following the trade signals, start learning from the live trading sessions that we do, and just learn a lot and just be very up to date with what is happening in the market. So if you guys are not in there already, definitely do so. This is the last month to get 50% off your first month. So you can try it out and get 50% off your first month. Try it out. If you don't like it, you can leave at any time. So definitely, I can't answer that question on the live stream. Send me a DM if you have any questions about it. Can I send a link for the Citadel? Send me a DM, guys, if you're interested in that. Send me a DM, and we can talk about it offline. Can't talk about it online because I'll get in trouble. When will the markets be better to trade and better PA? Summer was chopped. Yeah, summer is always a lot of chop, man. July was very good. June was very good to trade. Very great, good trading month. Like July was my most profitable trading month. Made over 6K trading in the month of July. You guys can see my P&L inside the Crypto Citadel. Literally made over 6K. What was it? Let me see here. Signals. Let's see. What was the P&L for July? July was 68.92. 68.92 was for the month of July. The month of June was like 37 or something like that, 3,600. The month of July was 68. That was the most profitable month I've had in a very long time, probably ever. August has been a lot slower. I'm still like in the 2,800 area, I think. A lot slower. Been taking a lot less trades this week. I think I've only taken like 3 trades this week. Not taking a lot of trades at all this week. Just been too much chop this week overall. Do you think ETH hitting 20K? Yeah, but not this year. Not 2026 either. Maybe some point in 2030 we might hit 20K, but not anytime soon, man. Trust me. I wish we could hit 20K tomorrow. I wish. Do you think we see a deep correction tomorrow? I'm pretty sure that's what you're asking. Yeah, there's a very good chance that we're going to drop tomorrow, right? They're probably most likely going to be very hawkish about how there's not going to be an interest rate cut, how, the risk of inflation is way too high, and yada, 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 and the market are too unstable, and they're not ready yet to do interest rate cuts. So, yeah, most likely probably going to have, a decent pullback at least. We are pretty much coming into these lows. We are looking for a test of this 112 area and potentially lower to see if we recover, if we're going to make this low here and sweep it and start pumping back up. Do you use any crypto credit cards? No, I don't use any crypto credit cards. Haven't really signed up for any of those. Trying to stay away from credit cards, man. Credit cards are one way to quickly get stuck in massive amounts of debt, and yeah, then you literally don't have money to invest. My goal this bull market is to clear myself of all debts. Clear myself of all debts. I have a certain number that I need to hit, and I think I can. And by the end of this year, hopefully by December, I'm cleared of all my debts. And, just it's been a rough last 4 or 5 years since the fog around the world happened. It's been a rough couple of years, and yeah, credit card debt has definitely gotten out of control. And trust me, I'm speaking from experience. They got to stop. They got to stop, right? Those 28% APRs on those credit cards are literally eating all your investment money. So my goal is to finish off paying all my debts by the end of this year. Let's go take a look at the Solana chart real quick. Solana, make way, make way. So Solana's still in its overall arching uptrend from the late from the beginning of Q2, right, in April. So even if we drop down to 174, even if we drop down to as low as 154, we're still in the uptrend. We ideally don't really want to spend too much time under 165 because we would be dropping below the yearly VWAP. But a quick wick down to about 154 or something, 157, and then getting back above 165 is fine. Now, if we do lose the uptrend and we start losing the 164 area and we can't get above it, right? Targets to the downside below that are 145 to 119 are some big targets to the downside for Solana. If Solana can hold above 165, hold above the lower band of this uptrend, right? Our big targets to the upside still remain the same: 225, 235, 247, and then all-time high of 295. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Everybody that's been asking about the Crypto Citadel, send me a DM wherever you're at, whether it's TikTok or Instagram. If you have questions about it, send me a DM. We can talk about it privately. I can't talk about certain things on these live streams because I will get in trouble. I've gotten in trouble in the past, and I don't want to do that. So I'll answer any questions you have. You can always ask other people that are in these live chats. There are usually some Citadel members in here as well. But, you know, really easily off the top is you get access to my trading community where you get my trading course. You get daily trade signals. You get daily trade setups. You get long-term macro analysis for the weeklies, the monthlies, the quarterlies, right, for the people that are long-term holders. You get live trading sessions every day, Monday through Friday, for at least an hour in the mornings during the best trading activity time. And then what else you get? And then you get access to my exclusive trading indicator as well that fits into my trading strategy. So you get access to all of that for, you know, a very specific low amount, and then you can get 50% off until the end of this month, which is coming up close here very soon. So 50% off your first month only to try it out. If you don't like it, you can, you know, leave. It's fine. That's why it's just a trial. But you're not going to get a 50% off anymore after this month. So this is the time to do it. Do you think XRP is going to go down further? Absolutely. If Bitcoin drops lower, if Bitcoin begins to drop below 112 and doesn't sweep the lows here of August, and we drop lower than 112 and we start dropping towards, you know, 108, 105, 103, right? We start dropping towards these levels. Absolutely, XRP is going to drop lower. XRP is not immune to a Bitcoin pullback. XRP is not immune to a Bitcoin pullback. I want you guys to keep that very clear in your minds. No matter how much fugazi all these other XRP content creators will tell you, the truth is, when it comes to the chart, if Bitcoin pulls back, XRP pulls back. It's that simple. XRP is not immune to a Bitcoin pullback, to a market pullback. It does not run the show. Bitcoin runs the show. And whenever Bitcoin dumps, when it has a serious dump, XRP will dump along with it. Hannah says that's just common sense. Yeah, you would think it's common sense, but a lot of XRP content creators feed a lot of fugazi to people that somehow that doesn't make sense, and that somehow it's just market manipulation and suppression and this and that. There's this massive, major conspiracy. But the realistic is it's an altcoin, just like anything else. And when Bitcoin dumps, altcoins dump, and that means XRP as well. So, guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Make sure you're joining the Crypto Citadel if you haven't already. Definitely do so. If you have any questions, send me a DM, and we'll talk about it. I appreciate every single one of you guys in here. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day. I'll see you in the Crypto Citadel. See ya.